What's up, Coomers? Here we are again with another game, the same gacha. Mikil just reached the next level and seems like we got an increase of 5 additional member slots. So I figured this is a good time to talk about the Union Raid as well. I'll be talking about the Union Raid or Guild Raid, however you want to call it, based on the information that we have available right now. In particular, I'll tell you about how I've been telling my guild to prepare for it because we don't really know full yet the mechanics about it. If my guess is about right though, I think we can rejoice for some of our free-to-play brothers because I think you'll be able to contribute well to the guild if my guess is correct. Tune in the video to see more why that's gonna be the case. Now, there was a developer's notes earlier talking about how it's going to be a seasonal content. I'll link this in the description below, and while you're at it, go ahead and follow my Twitch and join the Discord and chat with the rest of the community who are also interested in things in this game. We're constantly discovering new things in the game and we're sharing it amongst the community. So just taking a few things and information in consideration, I could try to guess a thing or two with how I think Guild Union Raid is going to be. Now, I just want to say I do not have access to whatever those partnered content that other creators have, so this is just me guessing some information about it. But regardless of that, I think the way to prepare for the raid is going to be all the same. First, let's talk about what the system could be. There are a few ways gacha games have set up their guild system. I'd wager this game is going to be taking some inspiration and have some similarities with other games. First things first, did you know this game has a co-op? Well, if you didn't, now you know. We already know from beta that there is a content called coordinated operation. This content is actually also has matchmaking, by the way, so for solo players where not, you can find a group easily. But basically, this game mode, each person selects one Nikke, and that's the Nikke that they will control for in the raid. The levels seem to be equalized down to a level cap, so the playing field was evened out a little bit. I could see having gears and duplicates of a character and upgraded skills being the main difference in co-op. So there's going to be some differences between the different players. I have to say, this game when I was playing co-op was pretty fun. We could see the guild raid taking inspiration from this. I'll talk more about this in a bit, but let me just also talk about another form of the guild system that I'm kind of worried about if we don't follow this kind of setup. Now, it's not a secret, Nikke is following suit some of the mechanics of some AFK RPGs. If that's the case, then the game will likely allow you to have a limited number of tries where you can just try to deal as much damage as you can with your own team, and then your skull will count towards the progress of the guild. And based on the amount of points you get, your guild rewards are going to scale. You'll get rewards based on your own performance, and then at the end of the day or season, you will get rewards based on what your guild has achieved. Now, why is it believable for this feature to exist? Well, I'm more suspecting why is there a shooting range in the Union menu. Now, it could be that it's just for fun rankings within the guild, but this could also serve as a testing zone for people to test out their own team for guild raids. Whatever the case may be, there are some pros and cons to the system. Of course, one good thing about this is that people won't have to worry about relying on grouping up all at the same time. You can do the guild raid at your own leisure and at your own time. The bad thing is each person is more liable to carry their own weight. Doesn't feel much of a guild camaraderie, is it? Now, what could be better than this? Well, let's go back and talk about the coordinated operation that I was talking about earlier. If you get what I'm digging about right now, yeah, the co-op feature is already supported. Why not put it in the guild mode? So I could see these being likely the case anyways too. And remember what I said earlier about good news for free-to-play players? Having less units to control allows some free-to-play players to just focus on their best unit. If, for example, they just somehow just get lucky and getting tons of duplicates for one unit, then they could specialize on that unit. Another thing is you could have your free-to-play players use like support units, while if you have whales, you can have them use their DPS units. Another thing I could think of is an evolution of the co-op feature where a person can control multiple units as well. King's Raid had a gold conquest mode where you can set up multiple units to do the raid. Doing it solo will waste like 2 entries instead of 1. But you can choose to group up with other people and each of you could add multiple units forming up a team. But wait, there's also additional information that I also wanted to try extrapolating. And in particular, let's talk about specific units. Now let's look at Rapunzel here. You can see that her skills indicates how much allies are affected, right? So like skill 1 has affected 3 units with the lowest HP. Skill 2 has 2 allied units with the highest attack. But then there's also a part where it says all allies. Now we all know that there's just 5 units in a battle. The same for coordinated operation as well. Some of you may be aware of where I'm going at here, but let's take a look at a specific unit. Yulha has a specific skill that specifically says affects 5 allies with the lowest HP. I don't see a reason why it has to specifically say 5 allies when there could only be 5 allies. So they could just say it affects all allies instead. So yeah, if you dig where I'm getting at, that's right. It sounds like we'll have raids or content that could have us having more than 5 units. I think Union Raid is a potential for it. If they design it similar to King's Raid Guild Conquest, then it definitely sounds like it'll be a good case for it. But with all those informations out of the way, what does this mean? Well, what it means is basically free-to-play players can contribute to the guild if it is a coordinated operation where we specifically control 1 or 2 or maybe 3 units, and then we can have our whales focus on the big DPS units while having like maybe low spenders or free to play focus on like buffers, debuffers, support units. This also means that you should spend your skill ups wisely. As much as possible, put a hold on upgrading your skills for now until you know what your planned role or character is going to be. For example, it's like, you know, for supports, you know, they would use volume instead or litter, and you have the debuffer, flex healer, and like Rapunzel, DPS carry, etc. For now, since it's still early, people don't know yet what to main as. Also, pulls could be a deciding factor on how you would end up. Maybe your next few pulls you will end up getting duplicates of the next new unit. But this is just a heads up preparation. Try to think about what role you're thinking of filling up. Keep in mind the team burst position also is going to play a huge role, so you need to coordinate with your guild whether you want to use burst 1, burst 2, burst 3. And I think healer is probably going to be a flex. I suggest to not main a healer because most raids, I would say, you could probably handle fine by just doing mechanics, but you know, it could be different for specific boss. I don't see the first boss to be healer intensive for now, but I could see the healer being more meta later down the road. But yeah, also try to factor what weapon you're comfortable with, whether you're like using the sniper rifle or shotgun. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. This is just kind of a quick idea that kind of came up to me, and this is also how I've been telling my guild to prepare for guild raid. If you guys end up enjoying the content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and come visit me on Twitch and come to the Discord if you want to chat around with the game. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.